Now, if it goes down, then we're in for a bear market. Conversely, if we went up, we could possibly be in a bull market. And then if we were possibly to go to the right, we would just be in an accumulation phase. So we have three opportunities here, people.
Welcome back, Hardforkers, to our weekly crypto update show with Jesse and Leanne. How are you both?
Hi.
Hello.
Big week. We're going to be looking at the news, commenting on that for you. We'll also have a look at the charts, go over our portfolios and how we're playing this market. I mean, a hell of a lot to talk about today, people. So, look, let's kick it off with what are the negatives. We've had so much FUD lately, so I just want to touch on a bit more FUD to kick it off. China appears to really officially now have turned around and said they're shutting down mining operations in this particular province and a number of others. So, look, not that that's particularly new news, but I just quickly wanted to comment on it. What I really need you all to understand is that while a lot of the hash rate does come out of China, the reality is that if you're running Bitcoin miners anywhere on the planet, you're effectively joining pools. So a lot of this hash rate coming out of China could be me sitting down here in New Zealand committing my hash rate to that particular pool out of China. So look, mining being banned in China, ultimately I think it's probably quite a positive thing moving forward here. But look, don't freak out about it as FUD that's going to collapse this market. There you go. Box ticked. I hope you understood that. We can talk about something new now.
To your point about China, I was just reflecting today that I think we've absorbed as much FUD as we can now. So this sort of news, nobody's reacting to anymore, which is a really good thing.
And Leanne, actually, just to put it in perspective, people, you're watching this video on YouTube. YouTube videos uses 6 times as much energy as Bitcoin.
Yeah, so some people's hair dryers probably.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've had so much FUD. My thoughts are a lot of this has been coordinated with what's going on now with these Central American countries moving to Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin has been a pawn in the global sort of political landscape for a while now. Expect that to ramp up, people. Expect some nasty headlines in the future. Also around DeFi. I mean, that's on the radar of lawmakers as well.
It certainly feels like there is a rumbling going on beneath the surface, somewhat like a volcano, if you will, with upcoming news. As we know, the charts are looking a bit bearish these days, although just recently it seems to have done an upturn. I bring up the volcano thing, of course, because of the obvious big news about El Salvador bringing Bitcoin into legal tender, but also they plan on using volcano power to do that. Do you think this is more talk than actual do? Or do you think this will be done the same way they're saying it will be? I mean, they've already pushed the bills forward so quickly. You know, it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to go through with it all. What is your opinion on that, guys?
I see a young president who is so keen to be a revolutionist in any way he can that it would not surprise me if he got onto that very quickly. And he's incentivized now. If it's legal tender, then he's incentivized to mine it, to find solutions. And I mean, we know that El Salvador is, a country that is an emerging, developing nation. They've had a lot of issues. I mean, I used to be a teacher. I used to teach a lot of El Salvadorian refugees, actually, and they've definitely got their problems. But I feel like with the announcement this week, it's such good news, despite the issues that they have. And I feel like he's a president that can actually move his country forward in a way that hasn't been done before.
A country investing in Bitcoin, that's nothing new here. I mean, Singapore have done it, Norway have done it. It's something I've covered extensively. But I've been laughed at in the past where I talked in terms of countries actually adopting this. So to see it happening now is quite amazing. And I think there will be a domino effect, but also, prepare for a bit of a backlash from, some of the bigger players globally here.
Uncle Sam.
The US dollar is the default currency. I've been to a ton of countries where people use the US dollar because their national fiat currency has failed. I think I mentioned last week, we've had 800 fiat currencies, 75% of them have failed. El Salvador's brilliantly named colon currency being one of the latest. It's called the colon.
Sounds like the president's doing a little colon cleansing, if you know what I mean.
Wow.
So to answer your question, Jesse, is this full of shit? Is it some sort of PR stunt to attract capital to move into the country? Look, let's see. But, the reality is whether or not we end up with some bizarre scenario where we have a parallel global economy using Bitcoin in competition with, the Chinese currency and the US dollar, let's see. It's early days, but I mean, my God, this is getting exciting now.
Yeah. I think we'll see a domino. I'll bring up the Cointelegraph article.
When they say the Mexico lawmakers, are they referring to El Salvador?
I think what Sean was alluding to too is I think we're going to get this domino effect of these countries who have huge populations of unbanked people, and where their currencies have failed, take on. They don't want to be left behind, right? I think in Central and South America, when one country does something, it's definitely eyes on to see, who's moving and shaking and what they want to be involved in as well. So I think it's super exciting. I'm really excited to watch what plays out.
If only El Salvador were to do this, and let's say they would theoretically make enemies with America, with the United States in a way, because of the U.S. dollar, it would be more interesting to see El Salvador's neighbors join them in this kind of venture, because one country against the United States is not very positive outlook, but you get all of Central America doing this. It's kind of like you can't really back down now, and it would be interesting. It would be a very positive thing to see these countries working together, as opposed to, it'd be almost like oil in the Middle East, but it's different.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I just want to add to this discussion is I think it's important to remember, and I've got this headline up here about the US Senate having a hearing on central bank digital currencies, and apparently most of the conversation centered around Bitcoin while that was taking place. Just on that note, look, I'm a flat-out Bitcoiner. Anyone that's followed this channel for 5 years now knows this. But I'm a huge believer in Ethereum as well, and those two don't have to be mutually exclusive. I look at the things happening on Ethereum and what we're doing as a channel with all these Axie scholarships. We've got hundreds of them now. People are literally feeding themselves. I'm seeing proof of concept. I'm seeing the exponential growth in that play-to-earn space and DeFi built. These are all on Ethereum. Bitcoin is very much, its use case is money, and that's great. But Ethereum is, it's a multi-purpose blockchain. So, anyone new to the space, if you're listening to Bitcoin maxis, get a few different opinions.
Well, there's a Bitcoin maxi. Jesse, you might want to speak to this.
Well, yeah, so it looks like Michael Saylor has doubled down on MicroStrategy's huge bets on Bitcoin by borrowing $500 million through junk bonds to plow into the cryptocurrency. The fact, I think, Leanne, like you mentioned, the fact that it's borrowed money, borrowing that much, I guess you could say that's potentially a bullish story.
It's very bullish when you put someone else's money where your mouth is.
Yeah, publicly.
Well, look, I mean, all these big players are borrowing money. I mean, BlackRock, I think they've got the most assets under management of any company in the world. They're teetering around. They've shown interest in Bitcoin recently as well, but I was interested to see that they are literally buying up the real estate market at the moment. They are plowing billions and billions into it. Why? Because it's a scarce asset. That's where money's going at the moment. I covered it the other week. Scarce assets, property, equities, precious metals, and Bitcoin. Also, I just wanted to show you what somebody got up to yesterday. We're going to have a look at this Bitcoin wallet here, people, and what it's been up to. It's the fourth biggest Bitcoin wallet out there. My understanding is it's not an exchange wallet. It's got 112,000 BTC in it. This wallet dumped 3,000 Bitcoin mid-April, and that was just before we had that big crash on my birthday, April 18th. And as you can see, they reaccumulated it in smaller amounts. They also sold off in the first week of May. That preceded the big dump then, which happened on the 9th, where they sold another 3,000. Interestingly, this wallet that was selling just before or during the dumps yesterday made a huge purchase, 3,706 BTC. It's actually a really new wallet as well, interestingly. It's only been around since April 2019. So that is one almighty whale buying back in. So they got back in there at around 32K. So I find that fascinating.
Wow.
Very interesting. Yeah.
I was going to say, Sean, you recently saw that I posted, I don't often do this, but on my Facebook, I made a public post just kind of having my little mini rant about, I kind of was just mirroring what Sean has said in the past, just saying how, naysayers can naysay all they want, but Bitcoin, if you zoom out, Bitcoin has been doing better and better over the course of 10 years. And since I got in 2016 till now, it's only grown exponentially. And that was kind of my rant. And I just kind of did it perhaps so that my followers and friends on Facebook could get my overall opinion, because I've been getting a lot of messages over the past 6 months, let's say, from friends just asking me, if not what my opinion is on the whole matter, how they can make quick buck. And I just wanted people to know that, forget the quick buck. I believe in Bitcoin and crypto, and people should really consider value over price. Kind of, just trying to kind of mirror Sean's sentiments. And I'll say this, is that a lot of the replies that I've been getting have been either positive or at least inquisitive. In other words, I didn't have a single person saying, yeah, shut up, Jesse, whereas I might have had more of that in the past. So it's interesting to see people not only showing their support and agreement with my sentiments, but also asking how they could further learn more. And I typically say, try Google.
I mean, you said make a quick buck, but I did my video last week on, are you an investor, a speculator, a trader, or a gambler? I think, some of the coins that I've picked up in the last few weeks of note is AMP token, which is a token used as collateral. So it's payment rails. It's already in use in the US, listing on Coinbase Pro today. By the way, seems, up 50% in the last week. And the other ones that I've sort of accumulated again for this quick buck are Sol and Kusama. I've increased my positions there. Kusama having its parachain auctions next week, so I'm expecting some more price appreciation there. But quick buck for me is those three there. I'm just holding those. I don't have a stop loss on them. I mean, look, I've been trading some swings, obviously, in them and done quite well out of that. Investing in the infrastructure of this blockchain space now around the payment rails, around the big protocols, a quick buck for me is holding those for 3 to 5 years. And I don't think you would probably ever have to worry about money again.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point you make, is that why don't people realize that a quick buck is 5 years is a quick buck? I mean, people are trying to make a quick buck in 5 days.
Oh, look, I mean, 10 grand in Bitcoin or Ethereum five years ago. I don't think
you're rich.
Been around
you're
for 5 years.
fucking rich.
You're done. I mean, you're
you
not worried about
really have to
again.
do a ton of research. I mean, that is a quick buck if I've ever heard of one.
So as I've just mentioned, I've taken a position in AMP token. I'm viewing that as a long-term play as well. The whole sort of payment rail sector, especially when you see countries saying, okay, we're adopting Bitcoin, there's going to have to be a way for if they're going to use it as a currency for those transactions to settle. I mean, we've got Jack Mallers down there with Strike. I'm sure that's what he's looking to implement there for them. The other ones, are these protocols, Solana. I'm not betting on the applications on Solana because that's too high risk for me at this point. But as you say, I'm not betting on the horse. I'm buying the track. The other things in my portfolio, AXS, the Axie Infinity token. It's a project I know well. 100,000 daily users in that now, and play to earn. We've got 200 people in our scholarship program. That's how they're feeding themselves. That's how they're paying the bills. So other things I have, Uniswap. And I'm earning tokens by adding liquidity to pools, Quick Token, and SLP from the Axie Infinity game. So this is a vibrant, massively growing ecosystem. In fact, it's growing exponentially. So the quick bucks people, place your bets now.
Something that I've been invested in for over a year now is AGI, Singularity Net, which actually recently they've shifted into AGIX, and they're doing huge things with Cardano. If anybody knows the founder of AGI, who Sean has who's spoken to in person, Ben Goertzel, I got into this simply because what is the thing that people were getting into before Apple started getting huge or before Tesla started getting huge? I was like, well, what is an obvious thing? Artificial intelligence came to mind. And honestly, if you just look into AGI, Singularity Net, just even a little bit, they're doing such huge things and they've been growing so well over the time that I've even been a part of it, and they have free staking and all kinds of interesting things going on with AGI. Look into them; they're really. I think they're set to do huge things over the next months and even years. I mean, it's pretty kind of obvious in your face once you look into it. So that's a big one that I would say take a look at.
Well, I have some exciting news.
Yep.
I'm having an Axie baby. No.
Oh, you're having an Axie baby.
This week, I took it upon myself to go down the rabbit hole of Axie Infinity. Because,
wow.
Yes, tap on the back to me because I've avoided that whole thing for so long. And the reason being because obviously Hardforking is a big supporter of Axie Infinity, and I run a charity here in Indonesia, and I've been feeding a lot of people, but I also have a group of people that are tech savvy and out of work for over a year now, and I'm just like, I need to do something with my skills and their skills. So I went down the rabbit hole, and I have some Axies, and I made some Axie babies, and I'm waiting for them to hatch, and so I can actually really say with conviction now that I see the real use case for those tokens, and I hope to report more back on it soon. But
yeah, I was going to say that is right up your alley, Leanne. I mean, I recently watched your very sweet and moving video about how you helped your young friend there in Bali get the new room set up and everything. It's very, very kind charity work you do, and this is the best of both worlds. You're combining crypto with helping people that are in need. Definitely a good move on your part.
And I had a lot of fun being, an art teacher and that as well, looking at all the characteristics of the Axies and finding the best breeds.
It's fun.
So there you go, Sean and Jesse. I thought you'd be very proud of me.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic! I was actually making a video with Baloo just before we jumped on here, setting up some teams. I believe he's moving to your part of the world, and yeah, look, there's so many people out there in need at the moment, and this play to earn space in blockchain gaming. Be under no illusions that whole concept of being rewarded for your time, all these different ways that people are going to be able to monetize what they do online. Axie is kind of the first cab off the rank here. There's going to be a ton of this stuff.
And so I'm going to get, for my next trick, I'm going to get my crystal ball out. Actually, Jesse's going to commentate the chart. We're going to leave the Bitcoin chart with everybody, but Jesse's going to commentate it.
Sure. I'll be happy to. I really want to have my hand at doing the charts this month. I'm really serious about this.
Perfect.
So let me try to give it a shot. Can you load it up for me? Now, what I'm looking at here is a very strong opportunity for Bitcoin to go up. Now, if Bitcoin, if we see an upward trend here, that means that the price of Bitcoin will go up. Now that is possible, people, but we also have a possibility that the opposite could happen, and Bitcoin's price could possibly go down. Now, if it goes down, then we're in for a bear market. Conversely, if we went up, we could possibly be in a bull market. And then if we were possibly to go to the right, we would just be in an accumulation phase. So we have three opportunities here, people. And these are the three chances of what we could do. What do you think? Do you think that I did a good job?
I think I tried to draw what you said on the chart, and it's perfect.
All right. Well, I figure I'm a natural at this.
You are, and I think we should get you to do it every week.
Maybe not.
Because really, this is the state of play right now. No one knows. Up, down, we're bored of hearing it. Until we've got something to talk about, let's just have fun.
Well, look, I mean, it depends how you're playing this market, really, doesn't it? I mean, I've quite successfully sort of traded that range, but yeah, I am bored of the range.
And obviously, that was all in jest. I actually do not intend to foo-foo analyzing the charts, but I do find it a little bit tiresome when 90% of the people on YouTube are saying that it could either go up, down, or to the right. We all know this already. That is not some innovative concept that you've come up with on your own. And
according to my charts, I'm still under my wave, so I haven't come up for air yet, so I don't trade in this zone. So
I'm at a pretty low margin long on Bitcoin and ETH. On BYBIT, it's a good platform. It was one that held up when the market was crashing, while all the others you couldn't even move on. I think it's a good platform. I use it. If you want to support the channel and you are a trader, I think it's a fantastic platform. There's also an option on there to just trade without putting any money on it, so you can see whether you're any good at that. There's lots of opportunities if you're able to use leverage to effectively hedge positions. I mean, there's all sorts of ways you can use leverage. It doesn't have to be going 20, 30, 40x on a position and losing all your money, not knowing what you're doing. And I think some of the other guys catch a lot of flack because they do give it that hard sell. But at the end of the day, it's a very, very good platform. They're adding lots of different pairs to it at the moment. So check it out if you are a trader and if you want to support this channel. We do this for free. So that's how you could support us. And as we do now, we'll have one of Jesse's awesome tracks to play us out. What do you got for us this week, Jesse?
We can play a little drum and bass, yeah? Time had lost all meaning.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you to my co-hosts. Good luck to you all out there, and we'll see you back here on the show next week.
Thank you.